A new event just dropped. It's another monster type festival. And if you got PTSD from the last one, I got a feeling there's gonna be one that's gonna be dominated by loner decks. Not because, you know, one is significantly more OP than the others and we have a tier 0 format because of lab. It's more so because of the ban list and the most popular deck among these types. You know, what do you think of when you think of Beast Warrior? You think of Tri Brigade, right? Yeah, about that. I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know. So, given the limitations in this event, I will unironically claim, without clickbait, that BEETROOPER is one of the better decks to play in this event. Maybe the best. And unfortunately, it's not completely budget. You do need some URs. I'm a fan of BEETROOPER myself, so I have more URs than the average BEETROOPER player does. You don't need all of these, but you unfortunately do need at least Giant BEETROOPER Invincible Atlas, the Link 4, and you need at least one copy of Sting Lancer to play this deck, unfortunately. This might be as cheap as a constructed deck for this event goes. Yeah, this is the Cicada King it's from the Legacy pack in the very beginning. If you didn't somehow manage to roll this from the Legacy pack yet, well, that is just like you're probably the most unlucky player in the entire game. So yeah, I can show combos of what this deck does. Basically, you just end on a towers plus a couple monster negates, and sometimes you search Max E because for some reason, you know, DD Crow is way too good. We gotta limit DD Crow. But Max C, I sleep. That Max C is you can play 3 times as many copies of Max C as DD Crow, because clearly Max C is the weaker card in this event, right? Clearly. So yeah, I'll have combos, couple combo lines to show what you do with this deck, and basically you just spam insect monsters on the board and you spam link monsters. So the only extra deck monsters that matter in here are the Pico Falenas, the 2 Armor Horn, the Seraphim Pilion, and the Invincible Atlas. Literally none of the other Cicada King if you have it, but you don't need this. But like none of the other stuff in here like matters really at all, especially if you don't have Soma. And for, I guess, the card by card, since I know a lot of people are going to be, there's a lot of cards in here that people don't know, have probably never seen in their life. So Big Insect, if you don't know what the point of the vanilla with BEETROOPERS is Gokipole gets dumped to the grave during your combo, and if Gokipole is sent to the grave, you can add a level 4 insect monster to your hand. So you either add Resonant Insect if you have another normal summon for a turn, or you add Big Insect, and if you add a vanilla, you can special summon it to the field. Then it pops a monster that has more attack than this. So this is like the lowest. There's an 1150 insect, but there's literally no monsters with attack between 1150 and 1200 that matter. So we just use Big Insect because it's big. Of course, we're running the Maxi package. We're running the 1 DD Crow because it's man, just watch out for this card. There's no dominating hand trap in the game. Battle Asking a Pin to Poison, it's just an extender that you can special summon when you have an insect monster. Thing to Poison, it searches Pin to Bullseye as an extender, and it searches Arbalest for your follow-up. And during your opponent's turn, you contribute another insect monster, and it's basically like a Veiler. You revive this during your opponent's turn as an interruption. 2 Gokipole, because if you draw one, the combos are kind of weird, so I'm just running 2 because I'm too lazy to optimize deck building ratios for an event. Triple Scout Buggy, this basically just summons 2 insect monsters to the field. The combo, you need either insect, resident insect, or like retaliating C plus another extender, or you need 3 insect monsters on the field. So Sal probably gets 2 insect monsters on the field. Scale Bomber is just another extender. Resonance is the most important card in the deck. This is the reason this deck is playable. If it's sent to the grave, from the field to the grave, you get to add a level 5 or higher insect from your hand, from your deck to your hand. So any of these things down here, and if it's banished, you get to send an insect monster from your deck to grave, so you can send a Go-People. Neither of those effects are once per turn, or like any sort of ones. Not hard, not soft, not per copy. You can do literally insect resident insect, like you can activate it. I've seen it activate 7 to 8 times a turn. Retaliating C is effectively just searches max C. It can also search resident insect if you have another normal summon still, or if you want it as follow up. And it is kind of a hand trap, but I don't think there's gonna be many spells that special summon in this format to be able to trigger it, so that's why I'm only running the one. Arbalest it's revives Sting to Poison, which will get you another search. This is your follow-up play. This is why you always kill your opponent on turn 3 if you make it there, because this provides you like 4 bodies on its own. It's insane. 3, the Dual Locks Splitter. So, the reason I'm running this, it's a insect that special summons itself. However, if my opponent decides to read this card further, I know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players reading. What is that? You can see that it has an effect, and it tributes itself, which means if they want to imperm this, they gotta imperm this on the summon. So I punish smart opponents that actually care about reading my cards by baiting out imperms with this Mother Spider Splitter, which has no targets to actually, which has no baby spiders to actually summon for its effect. But I guarantee you, I will bait at least 1 infirm with this, and then proceed the full combo afterwards. Crawler Soma, ultra rare. Thank you, Konami. Very appreciative. Basically, this is the only quote-unquote one card combo in the deck. This, with plus literally any monster you can get onto the field, even DD Crow. This is full combo, because all this does is this sets any monster you control, then it special summons itself. Then you can special summon, reduce this level to level 2, and then you special summon 2 of your crawlers from your deck. We chose these 2 crawlers. This one destroys a spell trap, this one sends a monster from deck to the grave, which most likely will be Go-People, so you can either add Resident Insect or have Big Insect to pop a monster first. This is why we run the crawlers, by the way. And yeah, this card's an amazing extender. It plays through everything. It's a shame it's an ultra rare in a deck that traditionally didn't need that many, but whatever. Sting Lancer, BEETROOPERS Sting Lancer. This is a Bistio for insects, or you could call this BEETROOPER Magnamut, because it shovels a insect monster from your grave to your deck, and it shuffles any monster from your opponent's grave to their deck, and it searches a BEETROOPER spell trap. So either of these will special summon, and this is a counter trap for your turn. So DD Crow plus follow up plus big body. Better Bistio. Sneaky C. This is hear me out. This format power level is so low that this might work. If that doesn't work, at least it's a body that they have to get rid of. Otherwise, it's an insect body you can use. Doomdozer necessary for your combo. Banish 2, special summon it. Banish Resident Insect. Get your combo going that way. Heavy Beetrooper Mighty Neptune. This is the same as Doomdozer, except you put back banished insect monsters to your deck, so it recycles resources. And these are big. They let you put on a lot of damage. This deck OTKs very easily. Beargrem. This is the insect dragon ruler. Completely not necessary at all. It's not part of any combos, because we don't have any good rank 9s to make. This is just a random card there, and it's honestly brick most of the time, but since I pulled it, I guess I'll run it. BEETROOPER Descent. This is just a search target off Sting Lancer, and it's just a insect token that you special summon, then you can use it for link plays. BEETROOPER Formation. You search this. The idea with this is if you draw a Skull Buggy and you dump it, or you send it to grave because you have an extra Resident Insect, you can revive Scout Buggy with Formation, and then that gets you a second Scout Buggy on the field. So that's a free Sakata King, if your hand lets you do that. Double Called By for the anti-maxi stuff, triple Imperm because it's literally the only other hand trap available. Because once again, you know, Crow is a better hand trap than Imperm, obviously. That's why it's at 3. And Flying Thing is just a counter trap. So as I mentioned, the extra deck, none of the stuff matters except for this, and this. So the rank 2s are funny because if you run Crawler Soma. Because Crawler Soma reduces its level to 2 to special summon 2 crawlers. So you theoretically can go into rank 2s. Now they're not very good, but occasionally, theoretically, your opponent max sees you. You Crawler Soma into 2 more crawlers, you make Mannequin Cat, revive their Maxi, and then Maxi tutors any single insect from your deck. And you just kill them, because there's no good hand traps that you go. Besides Imperm, which they can't use if they have a Maxi on their field, they can't use the Imperm, so really you're safe to just OTK them after you get Maxied. And the reason I'm at like 45 cards is not because I'm super indecisive or anything. It's not just that. It's also because this deck has a lot of things that we call bricks. You see these high-level insects down here? While they're necessary for your combo, they don't do anything if you can't actually start your combo. So any time you draw these in your opening hand, it's just like having one less card in your hand that you still need other starters to be able to play. Which is why you have a greater number of starters starting from here to here. These are the monsters, the insects you want to draw, not these. You end up searching these over the course of your turn anyways. And Big Insect is a Garnet because Goalkeeper has to add the monster. And if it's already in your hand, you can't really add this from your deck to your hand when it's already in your hand. So drawing this is just completely dead too. So quite a few bricks that you don't want to draw. So going over 40, 45 so that theoretically you draw less bricks. Is that the optimal ratio? I don't know, but logically it makes a little sense. And if you are a really seasoned BEETROOPER player, and you're a hardcore BEETROOPER player, you probably have these 2 cards, which I wasn't lucky enough to pull. I pulled like 500 Legacy Packs, did not get a Shadow Ninja Mosquito. This is just a nice insect link to rank 2 you can make that can let you OTK your opponent. Especially if you have something like a Mother Spider Slitter with 0 attack. And Ultimate Great Insect. Yeah, it's not, if you're a BEETROOPER player, you're not really using this for combos because there's no good rank 9s to go into. So this is just a way to get extra damage when you have anything equipped with a Resonant Insect. Oftentimes Crawler Soma or Mother Spider Splitter, because they have 2000 defense. But yeah, I'll show you some combos right now. So these are just basic lines you can do with some common opening hands, such as Resonance Insect plus any extender. You summon these 2, so you have Resonance plus another insect on the field, and that's all you need to combo. You can link these off into Armor Horn. Go trigger Resonance to add you a Doom Dozer. Then you special Doom Dozer by banishing these 2 insects, triggering Resonance, which will dump Goalkeeper to the grave. That will add you your second copy of Resonance Insect, which you will normal summon using Armor Horn's effect. Then link Resonance and Doom Dozer into Pico Falena. Resonance 1, Pico 2. Discard. Attach to Armor Horn. Since we started with Resonance Insect, you can attach Retaliating Sea to the Armor Horn. I wonder what we're doing with that thinking. Then you add a copy of Mighty Neptune to your hand, and use Pico Flame's effect to shuffle 3. Don't shuffle back the Resonance. Shuffle back everything but the Resonance Insect. Draw another card. Then you link these two into Invincible Neptune. And then Retaliating Sea will search us the Maxi. We didn't already have it, we will search the Maxi, but now you can just add whatever you want for follow-up on the next turn. Next, use Armor Horn, banishing 3 from grave. This will trigger Resonance Verse another time, once again, sending Sting the Poison to the grave. And next, special summon Mighty Neptune by putting back 3 insects back to your deck from your banish pile. Use Invincible Neptune, sack off the Invincible Alice, sack off the Mighty Neptune you just summoned to special summon Sting Lancer from your deck. Then activate Sting Lancer to add a Flying Sting to your hand, the counter trap. Then link Sting Lancer and the Armor Horn off into Seraphim Papillion. Then Papillion's effect will trigger. This will give you counters, letting you revive a monster during your opponent's turn. Then you set Fly and Sting, and your opponent's turn, you activate Maxi. And if they have Called by the Grave, you can use Seraphim Papillion on the Maxi to dodge the Called by the Grave on the Maxi. So the only way this Maxi is not resolving is if they have Crossout Designator. Very fair, very fair. And let's say they didn't have the Called by, you don't have to revive the Maxi to dodge Called by, then you use Papillion to revive Sting the Poison. And Sting Poison effect will add you your Arbalest for follow-up on next turn. This will revive Sting. And now Sting is a monster negate, and Flying Sting is another monster negate. And you resolved Maxi. So all you gotta do is just don't die forehead. Which I don't think the power of this event is so high to where you'll get OTK through 2 disruptions that easily. And you can draw into stuff like Sting Lancer and what's the BEETROOPER called? Scale Bomber. More copies of Sting Lancer and Scale Bomber so that you could just summon them as chump blockers and bodies during your opponent's turn just to not die. And you are going to kill them next turn because all this follow-up plus Maxi resolve. So yeah, thank you for keeping this card legal during an event as the only hand trap. Konami, thank you very much. Now, I can't show every line this deck has. If you want, when the event boots up, I could show some gameplay of this deck to show how to better play with all sorts of hands. But for now, this is another variation of the main combo you're going to be doing. This is any 3 insect monsters on the field, or just 1 Crawler Soma. So basically, if you have Soma, you just normal summon your monster, or summon your monster, flip it face down for Soma. Then activate Soma, reduce its level by 4, and get your two crawlers on the field. Now this doesn't have to be the Crawler Soma stuff, this could just be any 3 insects. It's largely the same combo. Now you don't go into Armor Horn this time, you go into Pico Falena. There are 2 of them. Discard a card for Pico, and attach a Resonance Insect to your 3rd insect. Now, don't use Pico's effect yet. Just link these 2 directly into Armor Horn. And Armor Horn, or Resonance Insect effect will trigger, This is where you get your Doom Dozer. A special Doom Dozer by banishing Resistance and another miscellaneous insect. And this will trigger Resonance again, sending Gokipole. Then Gokipole will trigger to add Resonance, and use Armor's effect to normal summon the Resonance. Go into your second Pico Felina, and this will trigger Resonance again. Now, if you started with Crawler Soma, you can just add Sting Lancer. You don't need the summon. But if you didn't start with Crawler Soma and you just have 3 insects in the field, you would add a Heavy Beetrooper Mighty Neptune. So we're gonna pretend. I'm just gonna pretend that this monster doesn't exist for the purposes of this combo. Now you can activate Pico Felina, shuffle 3 back. Make sure you don't shuffle Resonance Insect back. And draw a card. Next, link these two into Invincible Atlas. And here, normally, if you start with Soma, you see you can just tribute this face down insect directly for Invincible Atlas effect. For the purposes of showing you can do this without Crawler Soma, just gonna use Revive Armor Horn, Banishing Insect, Resonant Insect, and 2 other insects. This will trigger Resonance once again, dumping Sting the Poison to the grave. And here, if you didn't have this face down monster, you would just summon Mighty Neptune, putting 3 back. And use Invincible Atlas to tribute the Mighty Neptune. And summon the Sting Lancer from the deck. And this will get you your counter trap. And if we had tributed this insect monster instead, we wouldn't need the extra body from Invincible Atlas, so you could just add the Sting Lancer directly to your hand as a interruption, a DD Crow interruption, and follow up for next turn. But this is still fine. So now you link these 2 off into Papillion, and you get the same board. Get a Monster Negate with the counter trap, and on the opponent's turn, Papillion revives Sting, the poison, which would get you follow up for next turn, and it gets you a second Monster Negate. And the only difference is you couldn't search Maxi in this combo. But it's just still decent considering that I don't know the power level of this event. So there's something else you can run as your revival target for Seraphim Papillion, and instead of dumping Sting the Poison and reviving it and getting follow up and stuff, you can dump Scary Moth. It's just too scary, and you can basically window your opponent. Now I'm not running this because it's just too scary for me. I can't. I'm like frightened every time I play this deck, and I have the chance of just seeing it in my hand and drawing it, and it's just a jump scare. And it's also a brick. But also the main thing is, if there's gonna be going second decks, or decks that break this board, that try to break your board, they're gonna run out the Scary Moth anyways. Like, they're gonna probably run board breakers, kaijus, and all that stuff because everyone's deck sucks, so they gotta rely on non-engine to break your board, and that's where Scary Moth doesn't really might not do a whole lot. At least Sting the Poison guarantees me follow up, so that I could, if I survive, I could kill them on their turn. I mean, you can definitely run this if you're braver than I am. Put a scary Moth in your deck and revive this during your opponent's turn. And you can also run, if you don't want to be sneaky, you could run Contact Seed instead of Sneaky Seed. You know, that's I'm just trying to be sneaky here. Oh yeah, there's like 50 billion insect extenders you can run here that I didn't mention. Like you got stuff like Primitive Butterfly. I got a Whale Rare Fairy Ant. There's Guard Mantis. All of these stuffs are largely the same. They all just fill the same purpose of special summoning an insect on board. So it doesn't have to be these. You could literally just be any insect you want to your liking, and it'll basically perform the same function 99% of the time. Yeah, that's BEETROOPER. This is probably going to be my most serious deck for this event.